The major challenge for us, at least in line with those customer groups, is that we also must adapt. We cannot be fixed in our own ways. I operate as a support function for finance administration for 3 different companies, and they all fall under the umbrella of the family holding companies. One company I started on my own, which is the F&B company. We there retail and wholesale coffee, and also coffee beans. The other 2 companies are essentially owned and run by my parents and started by my grandparents. A lot of the main changes that came from what happened before the episode and after was how customers behave and how we had to produce service customers faster than we needed to. So in the past, customers were willing to wait. People were also not too sensitive to price. Post-MCO, a lot of things have changed, especially on the food and beverage side where customers are more price sensitive and also they're expecting better service. So people on the ground needed to be trained much better, and we didn't know our numbers a lot better than we used to. So a lot of decisions need to be made on spot. So what helped us post-pandemic was engaging vendors like yourselves that provided us with tools that we could clock in, analyze, and lock in our numbers from a cost perspective. Our customers are typically a range of them. On the F&B side, there are all sorts of all types. We have business owners who buy coffee from us to service either the hotels or cafes. For the retail customers who walk in, all walks of life. For the furniture and property holding investment companies, they are typically on the higher end of the customer income spectrum. So very often the conversations and the product ranges differ depending on the categories. The latest Bank Negara report reported the highest growth in our quarter-per-quarter income as a country. That's really, really amazing. But because a lot of our business are brick and mortar, not tech. So as an SME, adaptation to such changes is always very, very challenging. So what we have noticed is that customers today are developing themselves to also become faster, to also enjoy things in a much more wholesome, holistic way. And also I find that the major challenge for SMEs in line with those customer groups is that we also must adapt. We cannot be fixed in our own ways. For example, our invoicing system for the family group of companies are all done via paper. Now customers request them by email. So it's a lot of changes to how we do things, even the simple ones, that I think improves the customer experience. They are in the sales cycle. In particular, with the changes in the industry, with Biztory, it gave us the opportunity to look at a business or businesses in a more structured and also in a more clear manner. Because in the past, a lot of the numbers were clicked on a lagging basis. So everything was recorded on paper, book entry. We had to manually reconcile, to manually figure out, okay, what's our monthly returns, what are monthly costs. But with Biztory, as we are doing it daily, the data points are more real time. So it accorded us the ability to give discounts to the customer front end, discounts for all our items quicker, or even cut deals that normally we won't be able to cut without like a lagging 1 month time frame. Or even internally for employees, because we know how much profits we're making and how much time they were spending on certain areas and processes, we were able to give them bonuses, pay increases, and that's also another way they were managing the change in rises of cost even for our team. We were able to give them additional pay, bonuses, OTs. So that helped a lot with our internal team morale. For me, though Biztory does a lot of simple day-to-day functions, but what it did was it enabled these day-to-day functions to be even easily done, even lagi more simple. So what was beautiful about it was we had the existing tech vendor. We could import and integrate the files with our accounting system, which allowed us to compute a lot of simple but necessary things, but very tedious, like statutory payments, much quicker, much faster. Perhaps I can tell you what the difference between using Biztory and using any other accounting vendor that I know of. Biztory's team is wholesome and complete. They have great tech support, they have a great customer service support, and the team knows their stuff. So for an SME like us who has done things on a paper book basis, migrating it to a technological front requires some form of assistance in terms of implementation. So what had been a great help when working with Biztory was the hand-holding and the solid support from the team at Biztory. So we really appreciate that. The user experience with Biztory, I have a very beautiful anecdotal evidence. I have administrators who's like my mom, my aunt, and also some of outsourcers that we have who are not bookkeepers, who are not accountants. But when taught how to use Biztory, it was very intuitive. They knew how to use it. And in fact, when it came to different parts of our business, where the accounting entries were a little different, the cost was a little different in terms of categorization, it was easy to teach them, and they knew how to clock this in and do it without me needing to be there. So as for the user experience of Biztory was fantastic, because non-accounting based executives could use it and you could still generate a very clear set of notes. Wonderful.